I'm Rick Pfeiffer, Columbus City Attorney. Our office does many things. One of the important things, and of course there are a lot of important things we do, but one of the ones that we do spend significant time, energy, and resources on is the protection of victims of domestic violence. Our unit is led in that respect by Assistant City Attorney Annie Murray, who is the director of the Domestic Violence Stalking Unit. Today we'll have a conversation with Annie Murray, and hopefully, as a result of this segment, if you are a victim of domestic violence, or for that matter, if you are a person who engages in the act of domestic violence, we can help you in some respects. If you're a victim, we want to protect you. If you are an attacker, we want to hold you accountable. So, Annie Murray, can you share with us and the others what it is we do in the Domestic Violence Stalking Unit?
What we do is once an offender has committed a crime and they are arrested, our unit takes a victim through the court process. We are going to contact that victim to let that victim know when the offender is going to go to arraignment court to see a judge about whether they're going to get out of jail or not. We're going to explain the court process to them. We're going to explain the possibility of protection orders and how that might fit the person's situation. We're going to safety plan with that victim to make sure that that person, if they choose to leave that offender, are doing so in a safe way because of the potential lethality in the domestic violence situation. We're going to give them referral services for those that our office cannot provide. We're going to let them know where they can go. And we also offer on-site kind of one-stop help with civil protection orders. The Legal Aid Society and Capital Law School are here in our office. There are liaisons from Choices, a service for victims of domestic violence. There is somebody from Southeast Mental Health that can help them with all of those different things. So it really is a one-stop shop trying to help the victims figure out what is going to be safest for them and their family.
Now, can we explain to them, can we show them where the place is that they go to seek that help? Can we show them? And right here is where it begins, on the 17th floor of 375 South High Street, the Municipal Court Building. So I and Assistant City Attorney Annie Murray will begin to walk through what someone would see. As they come off the elevator, they would come over to here. So, Annie Murray, let's walk into the first person that a victim would see when they come to our place. They would come into our reception area and meet our receptionist. Our receptionist is trained to try to begin to set the right tone to let folks know there's someone here to help. Now let's go on in and see what else a victim first sees when she comes to our office. As you can see, we are in the waiting room for victims of domestic violence. If you can pan around, you can see it takes on the characteristics of a comfortable living room. We do have a television for children. We have toys and games. Again, our goal here is to give a sense of comfort and security to victims, and it's mostly women, who are in a very precarious state because they have been struck by either a boyfriend, a husband, or a family member, and they're seeking help. They're seeking a place they can go where someone will care about what happened to them. Attorney Murray, once we have situated and tried to get comfort with the victim in the waiting room, tell us what happens next.
Rick, an advocate is going to come and speak to the victim and interview them about what happened and what their needs are and whether they are interested in seeking a protection order, ordering the offender to stay away.
Well, let's find and talk with a domestic violence advocate at this time. We're fortunate today to have Ms. Hammock Bushelman and Ms. Hargrove, who have been with us as domestic violence advocates, and we're going to ask them if they would explain succinctly what it is that their role is in assisting victims of domestic violence. So, Ms. Hammock Bushelman, would you explain to our viewers the role that you play in this effort to protect victims of domestic violence?
Okay. Well, I speak Spanish, so a lot of times I deal with victims that are immigrant, help them translate for court, try to explain the court process. We use the Victims' Rights and Responsibilities handbooks and kind of give you an overview of the court system to know what to expect. If you're coming in from arraignment, I would go through what to expect at arraignment, that it's a bond hearing, that you're able to get a protection order, and then, depending on your situation, help you get housing, shelter, connect you with organizations that could help you pay your utilities, things like that that might arise, needs that you might have if somebody that's charged with domestic violence against you isn't able to help you pay your bills.
How frequently do you find that Spanish-speaking victims come to seek our help?
A lot more now than before. I worked here for 4 years, about 6 years ago, and I would say probably now I see at least 8 times more.
Ms. Hargrove, good morning.
Good morning.
Would you also provide your perspective and give a view of what it is that we do and what your senses are about how we are able to help?
We start with explaining the court process and how that works, because a lot of time women come in here and they have no idea, they don't know, they're not familiar with the process, they don't know what's going on, so we kind of explain from beginning to end, and we're kind of, I don't want to say a middleman, but someone that they can relate to so that it doesn't seem as big,
What do you mean it doesn't seem as big?
Well,
Does that mean that you sense that the people are in awe or intimidated or confused?
Absolutely.
Could you explain that?
Yeah, if you're not familiar with the, if you're not down in court every day, I think it's absolutely intimidating to people. You come down here and you expect what you see on TV, a big jury, a big courtroom judge, and it scares people, but we're kind of here to explain it to them and keep them calm.
And are you successful?
Most of the time, I believe so, yes, because it's not like that. They're not generally, going to testify in front of a bunch of people. We're just usually in a small room in our office, and we try to make them feel as comfortable as possible.
To give you a perspective of the size of this office, we have 15 domestic violence advocates and 2 investigators. You've already met 2 of our domestic violence advocates. I'd like you to meet a third, Ayan Hassan. Ayan, would you explain, please, what it is that your role is here and how your presence helps us with our mission, which is to protect victims of domestic violence?
First of all, I'm Ayan Hassan, and I'm from Somali community. We help victims of Somali community here. We have almost 40,000 Somali refugees here in Columbus. We help victims through court process, if they need interpretation, if they need, I also do outreach and go to the community and explain what we do here, and the services are available here in this office. So my job is not only to help here, but I also help the community and outreach and ask what they need at the city attorney office.
And how do you find that the Somali community is reacting, is responding to what it is we try to do?
Majority of the things they're trying to integrate into this society. They ask questions. First of all, they have this fear of the authority, but again, when they come here and ask questions and I explain what our role here is, they become more familiar to the what we do here, and then they are more comfortable to come and ask help now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your help. As we continue this discussion, it's important that the victims understand what is going to be required of him or her once you come into this process. If you are a victim the night before, you're going to be told is the right expression, or encouraged, to appear the next morning with us in our system. That means you've got to get here at 8:30 in the morning, and you have to be willing to commit the whole morning. I'm going to say also that if you don't come, we may be calling you. But I'm going to at this point turn it over to Director Murray, who can explain more fully beyond today, beyond that first day, what is required.
Rick, there may be several court dates. The first day after somebody is arrested is the arraignment. It's the first opportunity for the offender to go before a judge and for the victim to get a protection order if he or she wants that. There will then be what's called a pretrial, and then potentially a jury trial date. Those are the different stages, but that doesn't mean that there would just be one court date for each of those. So a victim who comes through our process should anticipate at least 2 and maybe 3 and sometimes more court dates. And the other thing that it's important for a victim to know is whatever time the court date is set, let's say it's set at 9 o'clock, that doesn't necessarily mean when the court is able to hear that case. And so a victim should always be prepared to wait, to have what they need to stay the morning and sometimes into the afternoon.
Columbus City Attorney Rick Pfeiffer, and along with Annie Murray, thank you.